Overcoming the Fear of Failure, Turning Setbacks into Success by John E.A. This audiobook will focus on how to understand and overcome the fear of failure, drawing from previous experiences of trauma, and guiding listeners on how to separate past traumas from future endeavors. It will cover failure in various contexts, business, academic life, and personal growth, while offering mindfulness strategies and practical steps to embrace failure as a tool for learning and success. Chapter 1. Understanding the Fear of Failure, Page 1. Introduction to Failure as a Part of Life. Failure. It's a word that, for many of us, comes with a sense of dread. But failure, in its most basic form, is an unavoidable part of life. From the moment we are born, we are wired to fail, and that's a good thing. We stumble before we learn to walk. We fumble with our first words before we can speak clearly. These early failures are not only expected but celebrated as essential steps toward growth. Yet, as we grow older, our perspective on failure begins to change. Instead of seeing it as a learning opportunity, we start to see it as something to be avoided at all costs. Why is that? The fear of failure stems from a variety of places. Sometimes it's rooted in past experiences, times when a failure hurt us deeply, embarrassed us, or seemed to confirm our worst fears about ourselves. Other times, it comes from external pressure, family expectations, societal standards, or the competitive nature of work and education. We begin to measure our worth by our success and become terrified of what failure might say about us. But here's the truth. Failure doesn't define us. Instead, it serves as one of the most valuable teachers in life. When we fail, we are presented with a chance to learn, to adjust, and to grow. Without failure, there is no success. Failure paves the way for success. It points out the holes in our strategies, the gaps in our understanding, and the places where we need to improve. In fact, many of the world's greatest successes are built on a foundation of failures. Imagine a world where failure didn't exist. What would we miss out on? There would be no great inventions, no progress in science or technology, no masterpieces of art, literature, or music. Every breakthrough we celebrate was preceded by countless failed attempts. Every successful person you admire has failed, often many times, before they reach the pinnacle of their achievements. We need to shift the way we think about failure. It isn't something to be feared, but something to embrace. Failure, if we allow it, can become the very thing that propels us forward. It can become our stepping stone to success. In this chapter, we'll explore the fear of failure, why it's so deeply ingrained in us, and how past trauma and experiences can amplify this fear. By the end of this book, you'll have practical tools to transform your relationship with failure, learning to see it not as a threat, but as an opportunity for growth. Let's begin by understanding why we fear failure in the first place. Page 2. Why we fear failure and its impact on decisions. Fear is a natural human emotion. It's what keeps us safe from danger and prompts us to make cautious decisions. However, when fear begins to dominate our decision-making process, particularly the fear of failure, it can become paralyzing. Many of us avoid taking risks, not because we don't have the ability, but because we are afraid of what might happen if we fail. Consider the student who hesitates to raise their hand in class out of fear that their answer might be wrong. Or the entrepreneur who never launches their business idea because they're terrified it will fail. In both cases, the fear of failure prevents action, and this lack of action ensures one thing. They'll never know what could have been. The fear of failure is often magnified by our past experiences. A past trauma, whether it was a failed exam, a business that didn't take off, or even a relationship that didn't work out, can create a mental block. It convinces us that we are destined to fail again. We start to believe that if we failed once, we'll fail every time. This mindset is damaging because it keeps us stuck in a cycle of fear and inaction. When you let fear control your decisions, you lose the opportunity to learn. Failing doesn't mean you are incapable. It simply means that the approach you took didn't work that time. By analyzing and learning from failure, you gain valuable insights that bring you closer to success. Failure is not permanent. It's not a reflection of who you are, but simply a result of one attempt. The key is to keep trying, to adjust your approach, and to learn from each setback. Most importantly, you need to separate your self-worth from your performance. Just because you fail at something doesn't mean you are a failure. It means you are human, learning, and growing. Page 2. Why we fear failure and its impact on decisions. Fear, particularly the fear of failure, is often a deeply ingrained response. It can stem from past experiences, the expectations we place on ourselves, or the standards that society sets for us. At its core, fear is a survival instinct. When we perceive a threat, our brains trigger a response that urges us to avoid danger. In many cases, this fear is helpful. It keeps us safe from real harm. However, when it comes to failure, the fear we feel often has more to do with imagined outcomes than real threats. The fear of failure is largely tied to the potential consequences we anticipate. These consequences might include embarrassment, disappointment, or even rejection. We begin to equate failure with personal worth, telling ourselves that if we fail at something, we are failures. This mindset can be paralyzing. For example, think of a student who, after failing a major exam, becomes hesitant to try again. The fear of repeating that failure creates a barrier to their future attempts. Instead of recognizing the failure as a learning experience, they internalize it as a reflection of their abilities. This can lead to anxiety, stress, and avoidance of situations where failure is possible, perpetuating a cycle of inaction and self-doubt. In business, the fear of failure can be even more pronounced. Aspiring entrepreneurs may hesitate to launch their ideas out of fear that the business won't succeed. They envision scenarios where everything goes wrong, financial loss, public embarrassment, or disappointment from loved ones. These fears can become so overwhelming that they prevent people from taking the necessary risks to achieve their goals. What's crucial to understand is that the fear of failure isn't about the failure itself. It's about how we interpret and respond to the idea of failure. Often, the fear is rooted in how others will perceive us. We worry about judgment, ridicule, or rejection. This fear can keep us from pursuing opportunities, trying new things, or stepping out of our comfort zone. But avoiding failure also means avoiding growth. The key is to shift our mindset and recognize that failure is not something to be feared. It's something to be learned from. It's a stepping stone, a necessary part of the journey toward success. In fact, the most successful people in life have often experienced the most failures. So, how can we begin to overcome this fear? One effective approach is to reframe failure. Instead of seeing it as a personal shortcoming, we can start to view it as feedback, a way of learning what doesn't work and improving from there. This shift in perspective allows us to approach failure with curiosity rather than fear, opening the door to personal and professional growth. Page 3. Trauma and failure. How past experiences shape future fears. For many, the fear of failure is closely linked to past trauma. When we've experienced failure in a particularly painful or humiliating way, the memory of that experience can linger long after the event. This trauma can create a mental association between failure and emotional pain, making us even more fearful of failing in the future. For instance, consider someone who faced significant criticism or punishment as a child for making mistakes. They may have learned to associate failure with rejection or loss of approval. As adults, these individuals might avoid situations where failure is possible, fearing that the emotional pain they once experienced will repeat itself. This connection between past trauma and future fear is powerful. Our brains are wired to protect us from harm, and when we experience emotional pain, our brain remembers it. The next time we are in a situation that feels similar, Our brain sends signals to avoid the perceived danger. But the truth is, not all failure leads to pain. In fact, most failure offers a unique opportunity for growth and learning. Breaking free from the cycle of fear rooted in past trauma requires a conscious effort. It involves recognizing the patterns of avoidance and understanding that failure in the present doesn't have to replicate the pain of the past. One way to do this is through mindfulness, which we'll explore later in this book. By practicing mindfulness, we can begin to observe our thoughts and reactions without letting them control us. Another important tool in overcoming this fear is self-compassion. When we are kind to ourselves, we can start to heal the emotional wounds caused by past failures. We begin to see that mistakes are part of being human and that they don't define our worth. Self-compassion allows us to move forward with courage and resilience, rather than being held back by fear. Page 4. Normalizing failure. A conversation on mistakes and learning. One of the biggest misconceptions about failure is that it's something to be ashamed of. Society often celebrates success and overlooks the many failures that precede it. This creates the illusion that successful people are somehow immune to failure, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Failure is a normal part of the process. Every inventor, entrepreneur, artist, or scholar has faced setbacks. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His persistence in the face of repeated failure is what ultimately led to the invention of the light bulb. When we normalize failure, we remove the stigma surrounding it. We can begin to see mistakes not as the end of the road, but as valuable learning opportunities. Every failure provides a lesson, and those lessons are the building blocks of future success. In business, for example, companies often go through several failed products before they find one that resonates with customers. In academics, students might fail exams or assignments before mastering a subject. And in life, relationships may fail before we learn how to build healthier, more meaningful connections. By shifting our perspective on failure, we give ourselves permission to try again. We understand that failure is not a reflection of our worth, but a necessary part of growth. This mindset is empowering. It allows us to take risks, embrace new opportunities, and move forward with confidence, even when success isn't guaranteed. Page 5. Mindfulness as the first step to overcoming fear. One of the most powerful tools for overcoming the fear of failure is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of staying present in the moment and observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment. When we practice mindfulness, we learn to become aware of our fears without letting them control us. Fear, particularly the fear of failure, often arises when we start to worry about future outcomes. We imagine the worst-case scenarios and let those fears guide our decisions. Mindfulness helps us break this cycle by bringing our attention back to the present moment. It allows us to see failure for what it truly is, a temporary setback, not a catastrophe. By practicing mindfulness, we can begin to recognize the thoughts and emotions that fuel our fear of failure. Instead of reacting to these fears, we can observe them with curiosity and compassion. We can ask ourselves, is this fear helping me or holding me back? More often than not, we'll find that the fear of failure is keeping us from reaching our full potential. Mindfulness also helps us detach from the past. As we've discussed, past failures and traumas can shape our fear of future failures. But through mindfulness, we can begin to let go of these past experiences. We learn to stop letting the memory of past mistakes dictate our present actions. Incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine doesn't require hours of meditation. Simple practices like deep breathing, mindful walking, or even taking a few moments to pause and reflect can make a significant difference. By staying present, you gain clarity and perspective, allowing you to approach failure with a calm and open mind. Chapter 2. Recognizing the root of the fear. Page 1. Exploring trauma, Identifying where the fear of failure begins to understand the fear of failure, it's crucial to explore its roots. For many, fear doesn't just arise out of nowhere. It's often connected to past experiences, both big and small, that have shaped how we see ourselves and the world around us. These experiences can range from a public embarrassment at school, a harsh critique from a mentor, or even early childhood moments when we were told that failure wasn't acceptable. Trauma plays a key role in the way we experience fear. While not every fear of failure is rooted in severe trauma, many of us carry emotional wounds that, if left unaddressed, can grow into significant mental barriers. These barriers prevent us from trying new things, taking risks, and fully expressing our potential. Fear of failure becomes a protective mechanism, a way to avoid the pain we once felt. Think about your own experiences for a moment. Can you recall a time when you failed, and the experience left a lasting emotional impact? Maybe you were criticized by someone whose opinion mattered to you. Maybe you failed publicly and felt embarrassed or judged. These experiences leave emotional scars, making us hesitant to engage in similar situations again. For many young people, this can start early. Imagine a child who receives poor grades or struggles with a task at school. If they are met with harsh words or disappointment, they may start to internalize the message that failing makes them less valuable or capable. Over time, this child grows up believing that failure must be avoided at all costs, or worse, that failure defines their worth. This internalized belief follows them into adulthood, influencing their decisions in relationships, careers, and personal growth. Failure, however, is not an indication of our worth. It's simply feedback. The key to overcoming this deeply ingrained fear is to first recognize where it stems from. Once we identify these moments in our past, whether they were significant traumas or smaller, recurring incidents, we can begin to detach from them. We can start to rewrite the narrative that failure is something to be feared or avoided. Instead, we can view it as a necessary step in the journey toward success. In this chapter, we'll explore how trauma shapes our fear of failure and how to recognize the patterns that arise from these experiences. We'll also discuss practical ways to detach from these emotional scars and reframe our understanding of failure. Page 2. Stories of business, student, and life failures. What we can learn: failure is a universal experience. Whether it happens in the business world, at school, or in our personal lives, each failure carries valuable lessons. Understanding the common threads across different types of failure can help us recognize that no one is immune to it, and that it's something everyone encounters in various forms. Business failures: take the business world, for example. The road to entrepreneurial success is paved with countless failures. Steve Jobs, widely regarded as a visionary, was once fired from his own company, Apple. His story is often held up as an example of how failure can lead to eventual success if we persevere. After his dismissal, Jobs could have given up, but instead, he used the experience as fuel. He returned to Apple years later, transforming it into one of the most successful companies in history. What can we learn from stories like this? First, that failure is not final. It may feel devastating in the moment, but it doesn't have to be the end of the story. Second, failure often opens doors to opportunities we might never have considered otherwise. It pushes us to rethink our approach, refine our skills, and come back stronger. Academic failures now. Let's consider students. Academic failure is a common source of anxiety and self-doubt, particularly for young people who are expected to succeed in a system that doesn't always account for different learning styles or personal circumstances. A student who fails an exam might start to believe that they're not smart enough, that their failure is a reflection of their ability. But this isn't true. J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, faced rejection after rejection when she first tried to publish her books. Her failures didn't mean she wasn't talented. They were simply part of her journey. Similarly, academic setbacks don't define a student's potential. In fact, they often present the best opportunities for growth. A failed exam or a bad grade isn't a sign to give up. It's a chance to reassess how to approach the subject differently, to ask for help, or to try a new strategy. Personal life failures. Then there's failure in personal life, which can often feel the most painful because it touches on our closest relationships and core identities. Whether it's a failed relationship, a friendship that falls apart, or personal goals that aren't met, the sting of failure in our private lives can linger. But, much like in business and academia, personal failures are also opportunities for growth. Consider someone who has experienced the end of a long-term relationship. At first, it may feel like a personal failure, that they weren't good enough, or that something about them was fundamentally flawed. But often, the end of a relationship offers a chance for reflection and self-improvement. It can reveal patterns or behaviors that weren't serving either person, and it creates space for healthier, more fulfilling connections in the future. The takeaway in all these cases, whether in business, school, or personal life, failure is not an indication of a lack of worth. It's part of the process of becoming better, smarter, and more resilient. The lessons we take from failure can guide us toward greater success in the future. What's important is not the failure itself, but how we respond to it. Will we let it define us, or will we use it as a tool for growth? In the next pages, we'll dive deeper into how self-awareness and emotional intelligence can help us respond to failure with resilience and grace. Page 3. Self-awareness. How to identify when fear is holding you back. One of the most crucial steps in overcoming the fear of failure is developing self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and how they influence our decisions. When it comes to the fear of failure, being aware of how this fear manifests in our lives allows us to identify the ways in which it holds us back. Fear often operates in the background, quietly shaping our choices without us even realizing it. We might avoid applying for a dream job because we assume we won't get it. We might procrastinate on a project because we're afraid it won't be perfect. Or we might avoid entering a new relationship because we fear it will end in heartbreak. These are all subtle ways in which fear keeps us from reaching our potential. Becoming self-aware involves asking ourselves tough questions. What am I avoiding because I fear failing at it? How am I letting my past failures influence my current decisions? Where do I hold back because I'm afraid of not being good enough? These questions help us uncover the underlying fears that drive our behavior. Once we identify these fears, we can begin to challenge them. Often, simply bringing our fears into the light allows us to see them for what they are: irrational thoughts or exaggerated worries that don't hold as much power as we once believed. A helpful exercise is to write down the fears you have around failure. Be specific. What are you afraid of and why? Once you have your list, ask yourself, is this fear realistic? What's the worst that could happen? Most of the time, we'll realize that even if we fail, the consequences are not as catastrophic as we imagine. By practicing self-awareness, we become more conscious of how fear is influencing our decisions. This awareness is the first step toward making different choices that align with our true desires and goals, rather than ones driven by fear. Page 4. Emotional triggers. Connecting past trauma to current fear. Emotional triggers are powerful. They are the subconscious responses that bring old emotions into present situations, often without us realizing it. When we experience failure, particularly if it's connected to past trauma, these emotional triggers can kick in, intensifying our fear and making us react in ways that don't serve us. Let's say you've experienced a significant personal failure in the past, maybe a failed relationship or a professional setback. That emotional wound may not have fully healed, and as a result, even the possibility of failing again can trigger feelings of shame, inadequacy, or fear. These triggers can manifest as anxiety, avoidance, or even self-sabotage. Understanding your emotional triggers is essential to overcoming the fear of failure. It allows you to recognize when you are reacting out of fear rather than logic. For example, if the thought of presenting an idea at work fills you with dread, it's worth asking, am I afraid of the actual presentation, or is this fear connected to something else, like the memory of being criticized or rejected in the past? Once we identify the emotional triggers tied to our fear, we can begin to work on healing them. This might involve reflecting on past experiences and consciously deciding to separate them from our current reality. It can also involve mindfulness practices that help us stay grounded in the present, rather than being pulled back into the emotional pain of the past. Healing emotional triggers doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that requires patience and self-compassion. But each time we face our fears and acknowledge the emotions that come with them, we take another step toward overcoming the grip they have on us. Page 5. Letting go. The importance of releasing past failures. Letting go of past failures is one of the hardest, yet most liberating, things we can do. We often hold on to failures because they become part of our identity. We might say, I'm not good at this, or I always fail at that, using past experiences as proof that we're destined to repeat the same mistakes. But holding on to past failures only reinforces the fear of failing again. It creates a self-fulfilling prophecy in which we expect to fail, and therefore, either avoid trying altogether or approach situations with a defeatist attitude. The key to breaking this cycle is learning to release the grip that past failures have on us. Letting go doesn't mean ignoring or forgetting about failure. It means acknowledging that failure is a part of life, but it doesn't have to dictate our future. It's about accepting that we are always growing, learning, and evolving, and that our past doesn't have to determine our future outcomes. One powerful technique for letting go is reframing. Instead of seeing past failures as negative, we can choose to view them as valuable lessons. What did that failure teach you? How has it shaped your growth? By reframing failure in this way, we take away its power to control our present and future decisions. Another important aspect of letting go is forgiveness, forgiving ourselves for the mistakes we've made, and forgiving others who may have contributed to our failures. This process allows us to move forward with a clean slate, unburdened by the weight of past disappointments. As we continue to explore mindfulness and emotional resilience, you'll find that letting go of past failures opens up new possibilities. It frees you from the limitations of your past and allows you to pursue your goals with renewed energy and confidence. Chapter 3. Shifting the Mindset. Page 1. The power of a growth mindset. Using failure as a tool for success. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. This mindset is crucial for overcoming the fear of failure because it shifts the way we perceive challenges and setbacks. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of our inherent abilities, a growth mindset allows us to see failure as an opportunity to learn and improve. In a fixed mindset, we believe that our abilities are set in stone, that we are either good at something or we're not. When we operate from this mindset, failure becomes a personal threat. We avoid taking risks because we fear that failure will reveal our limitations. A growth mindset, however, encourages us to embrace challenges and see failure as part of the learning process. For example, someone with a growth mindset might say, I didn't succeed this time, but I can learn from this and do better next time. This mindset not only helps us overcome fear, but it also makes us more resilient in the face of obstacles. By adopting a growth mindset, we can start to see failure not as something to be feared, but as an essential ingredient in success. It pushes us to try new things, take risks, and step outside our comfort zones, knowing that each failure brings us one step closer to our goals. Page 2. Redefining failure. Failure is feedback, not finality. One of the most empowering shifts we can make in our mindset is to redefine what failure means to us. Instead of seeing failure as a negative outcome, we can choose to view it as valuable feedback. Every time we fail, we learn something new about ourselves, about the task at hand, and about the process we're going through. Think about a time when you failed at something, but later realized it was a blessing in disguise. Maybe you didn't get the job you wanted, but it led you to an even better opportunity. Or perhaps you faced rejection in a relationship, only to discover that it opened the door to a healthier, more fulfilling connection. These moments of failure were not dead ends. They were moments of feedback, guiding you toward a better path. When we start to see failure as feedback, it loses its power to make us feel inadequate or defeated. Instead, it becomes part of the journey. It helps us refine our approach, adjust our strategies, and ultimately achieve success. By embracing failure as feedback, we free ourselves from the fear of it, knowing that every setback is a chance to learn and grow. Page 3. Reframing mistakes. Separating who you are from what you've done. One of the biggest barriers to overcoming the fear of failure is the tendency to internalize our mistakes. When we fail, we often make the mistake of equating that failure with our identity. We think, I failed, therefore I am a failure. But this is a dangerous and unhelpful mindset. The truth is, failure is something that happens. It's an event, not a reflection of who you are. You can fail at something without being a failure as a person. Separating who you are from what you've done is a critical step in building resilience and overcoming fear. To reframe mistakes, it's important to recognize that failure is a temporary event, not a permanent state. Just because you failed at something today doesn't mean you'll fail tomorrow. And just because you've made mistakes in the past doesn't mean you're destined to repeat them. You are constantly growing, learning, and evolving. And your worth is not defined by any single success or failure. By embracing this mindset, you give yourself the freedom to try new things, take risks, and experiment without the fear of being defined by the outcome. Page 4. The power of self-compassion and failure recovery. When we fail, it's easy to be hard on ourselves. We often criticize, judge, or punish ourselves for not meeting our own expectations. But this harsh self-talk only reinforces the fear of failure, making it even harder to move forward. Instead of criticizing ourselves, we need to practice self-compassion. Self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and support that you would offer to a friend who is struggling. When you fail, instead of beating yourself up, ask yourself, what would I say to someone I care about who was in this situation? Most likely, you'd offer them encouragement, remind them that everyone makes mistakes, and tell them that it's okay to fail. You deserve the same kindness. By practicing self-compassion, you create a safe space for yourself to fail, learn, and grow. You give yourself permission to be human, to make mistakes, and to recover from them with grace and understanding. This compassionate approach not only helps you bounce back from failure more quickly, but it also reduces the fear of failure in the first place, because you know that no matter what happens, you will be kind to yourself. Page 5. Setting new standards, affirmations for building a resilient mindset. As we conclude this chapter on shifting the mindset, it's important to set new standards for how we approach failure moving forward. Affirmations are a powerful tool to help rewire the way we think and feel about failure. By repeating positive affirmations, we can begin to shift our inner dialogue, replacing fear-based thoughts with empowering beliefs. Here are some affirmations to guide you on your journey to embracing failure and building resilience. I am not defined by my failures. I am defined by my willingness to keep trying. Every setback is a step forward in my growth. I am capable of overcoming any challenge that comes my way. Failure is not a reflection of my worth. It's a reflection of my courage to try. I trust that each failure is leading me toward success. I learn from my mistakes and use them to become better. I embrace challenges, knowing that they are opportunities for growth. I am resilient, and I rise stronger after each failure. I let go of the past and focus on the opportunities in front of me. I am proud of myself for having the courage to take risks, regardless of the outcome. By incorporating these affirmations into your daily routine, you begin to cultivate a mindset that embraces failure as part of the learning process. Over time, these affirmations will help you build the confidence and resilience needed to face challenges without fear. Chapter 4. Practical Mindfulness for Overcoming Fear. Page 1. What is mindfulness and how it combats fear? Mindfulness is a practice rooted in ancient traditions, yet it has found a significant place in modern life. At its core, mindfulness is the act of being fully present in the moment, without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without getting caught up in them. By practicing mindfulness, we gain the ability to respond to situations with clarity and calmness, rather than reacting impulsively out of fear or anxiety. When it comes to overcoming the fear of failure, mindfulness plays a crucial role. Fear is often tied to future outcomes, what might go wrong, how people will perceive us, or what we might lose. This fear of future possibilities can paralyze us, making us anxious and reluctant to take action. However, mindfulness brings us back to the present moment, reminding us that the future hasn't happened yet, and that all we can control is the here and now. Think of a time when fear consumed you. Maybe you had a big presentation coming up or a crucial exam, and the fear of failing kept replaying in your mind. What if I mess up? What if I forget everything? These thoughts are natural, but they are also focused on a future that doesn't yet exist. Mindfulness teaches us to recognize these thoughts as just that, thoughts. They are not reality, and we don't have to let them control us. By practicing mindfulness, we develop the ability to observe our fear without letting it dominate our actions. Instead of spiraling into worst-case scenarios, we can take a step back, breathe, and focus on what we can do in the present moment. This shift in focus reduces anxiety and empowers us to take action despite our fears. Mindfulness doesn't mean ignoring fear. It means acknowledging it without letting it dictate our decisions. With regular practice, mindfulness helps us to see fear for what it really is, a passing thought, not an insurmountable obstacle. In the coming pages, we'll explore specific mindfulness exercises that you can use to combat fear and embrace failure as part of your growth journey. Page 2. Simple mindfulness exercises to practice when fear arises. When fear arises, it can feel overwhelming. But with mindfulness exercises, you can regain control over your mind and body. These exercises are simple, yet powerful, and can be done anytime fear begins to creep in. Let's explore a few mindfulness techniques that will help you stay grounded and present, even in the face of failure. 1. Deep breathing. One of the easiest and most effective mindfulness practices is deep breathing. When you're afraid, your body enters a state of fight or flight, and your breathing becomes shallow. This can increase anxiety, making your fear seem even more intense. By practicing deep, intentional breathing, you can calm your nervous system and reduce the physical symptoms of fear. How to practice deep breathing. Find a quiet place where you can sit comfortably. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, counting to 4. Hold your breath for a count of 4, then slowly exhale through your mouth for a count of 4. Repeat this cycle several times, focusing on the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. As you breathe, try to let go of any tension in your body, especially in your shoulders and neck. This simple exercise can be done anywhere, before a big meeting, during moments of anxiety, or even when you feel the fear of failure rising. The key is to bring your attention fully to the act of breathing, which helps ground you in the present moment. 2. Body-scan meditation. Fear often manifests physically in the body. You might feel tension in your muscles, a knot in your stomach, or a racing heartbeat. A body scan meditation helps you become aware of these sensations and release them, allowing you to approach fear with a clearer, more relaxed mindset. How to practice a body scan. Sit or lie down in a comfortable position. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to relax. Begin by focusing on the top of your head, noticing any sensations there. Are you holding tension? Is the area relaxed? Slowly move your attention down your body, from your forehead to your neck, shoulders, chest, stomach, legs, and feet. As you focus on each part of your body, consciously release any tension you might be holding. Continue this scan until you've worked your way down to your toes. This exercise not only helps you release physical tension, but also trains your mind to stay present and connected to your body. It's particularly helpful when fear causes physical discomfort, as it allows you to address the body's response to fear and bring it back to a state of calm. 3. Focused awareness. When fear of failure strikes, it's easy to get lost in the endless stream of what-if scenarios. Focused awareness is a mindfulness technique that trains you to concentrate on a single point of focus, whether it's your breath, an object, or a sound. This practice helps quiet the mind and keeps you grounded in the present moment. How to practice focused awareness. Choose an object to focus on, such as a candle flame, a flower, or even the sensation of your breath. Sit comfortably and bring your full attention to this object. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring your focus back to the object without judgment. Spend a few minutes simply observing, without trying to change or analyze anything. Focused awareness is an excellent tool for calming a restless mind. When fear is overwhelming, this practice helps you regain control by anchoring your attention on a single point, allowing fear to naturally fade into the background. Page 3. Breathing techniques to calm the mind in stressful situations. When facing fear or anxiety, especially the fear of failure, one of the quickest ways to regain control is through intentional breathing. Breathing is not just a basic bodily function, it's a bridge between your body and mind. When you regulate your breath, you send signals to your brain that it's okay to relax, and this can be a powerful tool for managing fear. Let's dive deeper into some specific breathing techniques that you can use when fear of failure becomes overwhelming. 1. Box breathing. Box breathing is a simple yet effective technique used by athletes, performers, and even military personnel to stay calm in high-pressure situations. It's called box breathing because each part of the breathing process, inhale, hold, exhale, and hold again, is done for an equal count of 4, creating a box of balanced breathing. How to practice box breathing. Sit or stand comfortably with your back straight and your shoulders relaxed. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 4. Hold again for a count of 4 before repeating the cycle. Repeat this process for a few minutes until you feel calmer. Box breathing helps regulate your heart rate and calms your mind, making it easier to manage feelings of fear. 2. Alternate nostril breathing. This technique is commonly used in yoga and meditation practices to balance the mind and body. It's particularly useful for calming anxiety and restoring a sense of balance when fear is taken over. How to practice alternate nostril breathing. Sit in a comfortable position and relax your shoulders. Using your right thumb, close your right nostril and inhale deeply through your left nostril. Close your left nostril with your ring finger and release your thumb from your right nostril, exhaling slowly through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril, then close it with your thumb and exhale through the left nostril. Repeat this cycle for a few minutes, alternating nostrils with each breath. Alternate nostril breathing balances both hemispheres of the brain, which can be particularly grounding when fear and anxiety feel overwhelming. 3. 4-7-8 breathing technique. This technique, popularized by Dr. Andrew E.A, is designed to calm the nervous system and reduce anxiety. The idea is to lengthen your exhale, which helps activate your body's relaxation response. How to practice 4-7-8 breathing. Sit comfortably and place the tip of your tongue against the roof of your mouth. Inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 7. Exhale completely through your mouth for a count of 8, making a whooshing sound. Repeat this cycle 4 times. The 4-7-8 technique is a quick and effective way to calm your mind in moments of stress or fear. It can be particularly useful right before an important event or when you feel anxiety creeping in. Page 4. Visualization. Imagining success beyond failure. Visualization is a powerful mindfulness tool that helps shift your focus from fear to possibility. By visualizing positive outcomes, you train your brain to see success rather than dwell on the fear of failure. This practice is commonly used by athletes, performers, and successful individuals to mentally rehearse their goals and prepare for challenges. Visualization works because your brain doesn't always distinguish between imagined events and real ones. When you visualize success, you activate the same neural pathways that are used when you actually achieve that success. This primes your brain to approach challenges with confidence and reduces the power that fear holds over you. How to practice visualization for overcoming fear. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Begin to imagine a specific situation where you fear failure, whether it's a presentation, an exam, or a personal challenge. Now, instead of focusing on what could go wrong, visualize yourself succeeding. Imagine every detail, how you feel, what you see, the reactions of others, and the sense of accomplishment you experience. Engage all your senses. Picture the environment, hear the sounds around you, and feel the emotions of success. Make the visualization as vivid as possible. Spend several minutes immersed in this positive visualization, allowing yourself to fully experience the feelings of success. The more detailed and vivid your visualization, the more effective it will be in reprogramming your brain's response to fear. Over time, this practice helps reduce anxiety and builds confidence in your ability to succeed. Page 5. Cultivating resilience through daily mindful habits. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from challenges, setbacks, and failures. It's not something you're born with. It's a skill that can be cultivated over time through mindful practices and intentional habits. By incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine, you can build resilience that will help you face failure with courage and grace. 1. Morning mindfulness routine. Starting your day with mindfulness sets a positive tone for everything that follows. A simple morning routine can include a few minutes of deep breathing, setting intentions for the day, or practicing gratitude. This helps you approach the day with a calm and focused mind, reducing the likelihood that fear or anxiety will take over. 2. Evening reflection and gratitude. At the end of each day, take a few moments to reflect on your experiences. What challenges did you face? How did you handle them? What are you grateful for? By practicing gratitude, even in the face of failure, you shift your focus from what went wrong to what went right. This strengthens your ability to maintain a positive mindset even during tough times. 3. Mindful breaks throughout the day. Throughout the day, take short mindful breaks to check in with yourself. Are you feeling tense, anxious, overwhelmed? These breaks can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths, stretching, or stepping outside for fresh air. Mindful breaks help you stay present and grounded, preventing fear from building up over the course of the day. Affirmations to build resilience. Finally, incorporating daily affirmations into your mindfulness practice helps reinforce your belief in your ability to overcome challenges. Here are a few affirmations to start with. I am resilient, and I can handle whatever comes my way. I trust myself to learn from every experience. Each challenge I face is an opportunity to grow stronger. I approach failure with curiosity, not fear. I am capable of overcoming any obstacle. By weaving mindfulness into your daily life, you build resilience little by little, creating a solid foundation for facing failure without fear. Chapter 5. Building Emotional Resilience. Page 1. What is emotional resilience, and why is it key to overcoming fear? Emotional resilience is the ability to recover quickly from adversity, setbacks, or failures. It's not about avoiding negative emotions, but rather developing the capacity to cope with them in a healthy way. When we talk about overcoming the fear of failure, emotional resilience is one of the most critical traits to cultivate. It allows you to face challenges, failures, and disappointments without being overwhelmed by them. At its core, emotional resilience is the strength to remain steady even when things don't go as planned. It's about accepting failure, feeling the emotions that come with it, like frustration, disappointment, or even sadness, and then bouncing back stronger. Resilient individuals don't shy away from failure. They learn from it and use the experience to fuel their growth. Why is emotional resilience key to overcoming fear? Because fear thrives on our inability to handle discomfort. When we are afraid of failure, it's often because we don't believe we can cope with the emotions that failure brings. We fear the embarrassment, the disappointment, and the feeling of inadequacy that can come with failing. But with emotional resilience, we learn to trust ourselves to handle these emotions, no matter how difficult they may seem in the moment. Building emotional resilience is like strengthening a muscle. It requires practice, patience, and the willingness to face uncomfortable emotions head-on. But once you develop this resilience, you'll find that failure no longer holds the same power over you. You'll approach challenges with more confidence, knowing that even if things don't go as planned, you have the emotional strength to handle whatever comes next. In the following pages, we'll explore practical ways to build emotional resilience, so that fear of failure no longer dictates your decisions. Page 2. How failure can strengthen your emotional endurance. One of the greatest gifts that failure gives us is emotional endurance. Each time we fail and recover, we build a deeper well of emotional strength to draw upon. Think of it like this. Every failure is like running a mental and emotional marathon. The first time you attempt it, it feels exhausting. But the more you run, the stronger and more resilient you become. Failure provides us with real-life training in emotional endurance. When we fail, we're forced to confront uncomfortable emotions, disappointment, frustration, fear, and sometimes even shame. These emotions can be intense, but they are also temporary. The more we face them, the better we get at navigating them, and the less daunting they become. It's important to recognize that failure is not a weakness, nor does it indicate that we're not good enough. Instead, failure is part of the human experience, and each time we encounter it, we have the opportunity to develop emotional endurance. In fact, many successful people credit their ability to handle failure as the key to their success. They didn't let failure stop them. They used it as an opportunity to strengthen their resilience and perseverance. Let's take the example of Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Jordan has famously said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times. I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." Jordan's resilience wasn't just about his physical endurance. It was about his emotional endurance as well. Each failure strengthened his ability to bounce back and keep trying. This kind of emotional endurance is what allows us to push through fear and failure, emerging stronger on the other side. Page 3. The role of self-belief and positive affirmations in building resilience. One of the most powerful tools for building emotional resilience is self-belief. When you believe in your own abilities and worth, failure loses its power to define you. Self-belief acts as a buffer against the fear of failure because it reminds you that no matter what happens, you are capable of handling it. But self-belief doesn't come naturally to everyone. For many of us, past failures or negative experiences have chipped away at our confidence. The good news is that self-belief can be cultivated, and one of the most effective ways to do this is through positive affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself regularly, helping to rewire your brain's thought patterns. When you consistently remind yourself of your strengths and capabilities, you begin to internalize these beliefs. Over time, affirmations can reshape the way you view yourself, helping you build the resilience needed to face failure without fear. Here are a few powerful affirmations that can help build self-belief and resilience. I am capable of overcoming any challenge that comes my way. Failure is a stepping stone to my success. I trust myself to handle whatever comes next. I am not defined by my failures, but by my ability to keep going. I am resilient, and I grow stronger with every setback. These affirmations can be repeated each day, either as part of your morning routine or whenever you feel self-doubt creeping in. By regularly affirming your own worth and ability to handle challenges, you'll begin to approach failure with a sense of confidence and strength. Self-belief isn't about ignoring your limitations or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about recognizing that you are capable of growth and that every failure is simply a part of the process. When you believe in yourself, you stop seeing failure as something to fear and start seeing it as a natural step on your path to success. Page 4. Real-life stories of people who turned failure into success. There is no shortage of stories about people who turned their failures into remarkable successes. These stories serve as powerful reminders that failure is not the end of the road. It's simply a detour on the path to greatness. When we look at the lives of successful individuals, we often see that their failures played a pivotal role in shaping who they became. Let's explore a few real-life stories of resilience and triumph over failure. 1. Oprah Winfrey. Before she became one of the most influential media moguls in the world, Oprah Winfrey faced numerous failures and setbacks. Early in her career, she was fired from her job as a television news anchor because she was deemed unfit for TV. This failure could have crushed her dreams, but instead, Oprah used it as motivation to pursue her passion for storytelling. Her resilience led her to create The Oprah Winfrey Show, which became one of the most successful talk shows in history. 2. Walt Disney. Today, Disney is synonymous with creativity, imagination, and success. But before he built the empire that bears his name, Walt Disney faced many failures. He was fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination, and his first animation studio went bankrupt. Despite these setbacks, Disney remained resilient, eventually creating characters and stories that would become beloved around the world. 3. Thomas Edison. Edison is often celebrated for his invention of the light bulb, but what many people don't know is that it took him thousands of failed attempts to get it right. Edison's resilience in the face of failure is legendary. When asked about his repeated failures, he famously replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His persistence and refusal to give up led to one of the most important inventions of the modern world. These stories remind us that failure is not a sign of inadequacy. It's part of the journey to success. Each of these individuals faced significant setbacks, but they didn't let failure stop them. Instead, they used it as fuel to push forward, and their resilience paid off in ways they could have never imagined. When we hear these stories, we are reminded that failure is not a roadblock. It's a stepping stone. If we can approach our own failures with the same resilience, there's no limit to what we can achieve. Page 5. Strategies to develop emotional resilience in daily life. Building emotional resilience isn't something that happens overnight. It's a process that involves daily practice and intentional habits. Fortunately, there are several practical strategies you can use to strengthen your resilience and prepare yourself to face failure with confidence and grace. 1. Embrace challenges as opportunities. One of the most important aspects of emotional resilience is the ability to see challenges as opportunities for growth. Instead of avoiding difficult situations out of fear of failure, embrace them as chances to learn and improve. This shift in perspective helps you build the mental toughness needed to handle failure without letting it derail your progress. 2. Practice self-compassion. Resilience doesn't mean being tough on yourself. In fact, self-compassion is a key component of emotional resilience. When you experience failure, be kind to yourself. Recognize that everyone makes mistakes and that failure is part of the learning process. By practicing self-compassion, you allow yourself to recover more quickly and bounce back from setbacks with greater strength. 3. Build a support network. No one succeeds alone. Having a strong support network of friends, family, or mentors can make a huge difference when you're facing challenges. Resilient individuals often lean on their support system for encouragement and perspective when they experience failure. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. 4. Focus on what you can control. One of the biggest sources of stress and fear is worrying about things that are outside of our control. Emotional resilience involves recognizing what you can control and letting go of the rest. Focus on what you can do in the present moment and trust that everything else will fall into place. By letting go of the need to control every outcome, you reduce your anxiety and build your ability to handle failure with grace. 5. Set realistic goals. Setting achievable goals is essential for building resilience. When you set goals that are realistic and within your reach, you give yourself the opportunity to experience small wins along the way. These wins build your confidence and strengthen your belief in your ability to succeed, even when you face setbacks. Chapter 6. Facing Business Failures. Page 1. Why business failure is common and natural. In the world of business, failure is more common than success, especially in the early stages of an entrepreneurial journey. Startups, new ventures, and even established businesses face countless challenges that can lead to setbacks or, in some cases, complete collapse. This is not a reflection of incompetence, but rather a natural part of the business cycle. In fact, studies show that about 90% of startups fail within the first 5 years. There are many reasons for this: market changes, lack of funding, poor timing, or even external economic factors. But it's important to recognize that these failures are a natural part of entrepreneurship. Every successful businessperson has faced failure at some point. The problem is not failure itself, but how we react to it. Many aspiring entrepreneurs are paralyzed by the fear of failure, which stops them from taking the risks necessary to grow. Others experience failure and give up entirely, thinking that it means they aren't cut out for business. But here's the truth. Failure is a common and necessary stepping stone to success. In fact, most of the world's most successful entrepreneurs experienced multiple business failures before finding their breakthrough. Take the example of Henry Ford, the founder of Ford Motor Company. Before revolutionizing the automobile industry, Ford started 2 automotive businesses that failed. Yet, instead of giving up, he learned from his mistakes and eventually developed the assembly line model that made cars affordable and accessible to the masses. Ford's early failures weren't the end of his journey. They were the lessons that guided him toward success. Understanding that business failure is common and natural helps remove the stigma around it. Failure doesn't mean you're not cut out for business. It means you're on the right path. It's what you do after failure that defines your future success. In this chapter, we'll explore why business failures happen, how to recover from them, and most importantly, how to use them as opportunities for growth. Page 2. Case Studies. Entrepreneurs who failed their way to success. Behind every successful business is a story of failure. Many of the world's most successful entrepreneurs have faced significant setbacks, only to rise stronger than before. These stories remind us that failure is not the end of the road. It's simply part of the journey. Let's take a closer look at a few notable case studies of entrepreneurs who failed their way to success. 1. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is one of the most iconic figures in business history, known for his visionary leadership at Apple. But before Apple became the powerhouse it is today, Jobs faced a major failure. He was fired from his own company in 1985. At the time, Apple was struggling, and Jobs was forced out by the board of directors. This could have been the end of his career, but instead, Jobs used the experience to fuel his next venture, Next, a computer platform development company. Though Next wasn't a massive success, it played a crucial role in Jobs' eventual return to Apple. Next technology was later used in the development of Apple's software, and Jobs' experience with failure gave him the insight and resilience needed to lead Apple into its most successful era. 2. Sarah Blakely. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, faced numerous rejections when she first tried to pitch her idea of footless pantyhose. Most manufacturers and retailers dismissed her concept, thinking it would never catch on. But Blakely's persistence and belief in her product kept her going, despite the constant setbacks. Blakely often speaks about how her father encouraged her to embrace failure. As a child, her father would ask her and her siblings, "What did you fail at this week?" Blakely credits this mindset with helping her see failure not as something to be feared, but as a sign that she was pushing herself out of her comfort zone. Eventually, Spanx became a global sensation, making Blakely one of the world's most successful self-made women. 3. Richard Branson. Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group, is known for his bold and adventurous approach to business. Over the years, Branson has launched hundreds of ventures, many of which failed spectacularly. For example, Virgin Cola was a direct challenge to Coca-Cola and Pepsi, but it flopped in the marketplace. Similarly, Virgin Brides, Branson's foray into the bridal industry, was a complete failure. Despite these setbacks, Branson's resilience and willingness to take risks have been key to his success. He has often said that failure is an inevitable part of business and that it's essential to learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward. 4. J.K. Rowling. Though best known for her success as the author of the Harry Potter series, J.K. Rowling faced significant setbacks when she transitioned into the world of business and new creative ventures. Her Pottermore website, which was designed to be an interactive online experience for fans, initially struggled to meet expectations. Additionally, her post-Harry Potter novel, The Casual Vacancy, received mixed reviews, with some considering it a commercial disappointment. Rather than letting these failures define her, Rowling learned from the experiences and continued to expand her creative and business endeavors. Pottermore was revamped and continues to serve as a hub for Harry Potter fans, and Rowling has since ventured into other successful projects. Page 3. Overcoming fear in business. Practical steps for young entrepreneurs starting a business can be one of the most daunting experiences of your life. The fear of failure looms large, and many entrepreneurs never even get started because they are paralyzed by that fear. However, there are practical steps that young entrepreneurs can take to overcome this fear and embrace the challenges of business. 1. Embrace a growth mindset. The first and most important step in overcoming the fear of business failure is adopting a growth mindset. This means understanding that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone toward improvement. Instead of viewing setbacks as proof of your inadequacy, see them as opportunities to learn and grow. With a growth mindset, every failure becomes a valuable lesson that brings you closer to success. 2. Start small, test, and iterate. One of the best ways to mitigate the fear of failure is to start small and test your ideas. Rather than going all in on a massive business plan, start with a minimum viable product. This is a simplified version of your product or service that allows you to test the market and gather feedback before investing significant time and money. By starting small, you reduce the risk of failure and give yourself room to iterate and improve. 3. Seek mentorship. Mentorship is invaluable for young entrepreneurs. Learning from those who have walked the path before you can help you avoid common pitfalls and give you the confidence to push through challenging times. Seek out mentors who have experienced both success and failure and learn from their stories. They can offer guidance, support, and a realistic perspective on what it takes to succeed in business. 4. Reframe failure as feedback. One of the most effective ways to overcome the fear of business failure is to reframe it as feedback. Instead of viewing a failed launch or a missed sales target as a sign of defeat, see it as valuable information. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I learn from this? How can I improve next time? By approaching failure with curiosity rather than fear, you transform it into a powerful tool for growth. 5. Build a resilient team. No entrepreneur succeeds alone. Surround yourself with a team of resilient, motivated individuals who share your vision and can help you weather the ups and downs of the business journey. A strong team not only brings diverse skills and perspectives, but also provides emotional support when things get tough. Together, you can face challenges head-on and come out stronger. Page 4. How to bounce back and pivot after a business setback. In the world of business, setbacks are inevitable. Whether it's a product launch that didn't go as planned, a dip in sales, or losing a key client, setbacks can feel like failures. However, what separates successful entrepreneurs from those who give up is their ability to bounce back and pivot when necessary. 1. Assess the situation objectively. When you experience a business setback, it's easy to react emotionally. You might feel disappointed, frustrated, or even panicked. But before making any rash decisions, take a step back and assess the situation objectively. What exactly went wrong? Is this setback as catastrophic as it feels, or is it an opportunity to make adjustments and improve? 2. Pivot with purpose. Sometimes, bouncing back from a setback requires a pivot, a change in direction or strategy. This doesn't mean abandoning your vision entirely, but rather adjusting your approach based on what you've learned. For example, if a product isn't resonating with customers, it might be time to pivot your marketing strategy, target a different audience, or even make improvements to the product itself. 3. Maintain a long-term perspective. One of the keys to bouncing back from a setback is maintaining a long-term perspective. In the moment, it's easy to feel like a failure when things don't go as planned. But remember, business success is a marathon, not a sprint. Each setback is just one small chapter in your overall journey. Keep your eyes on your long-term goals and trust that setbacks are temporary obstacles, not permanent roadblocks. 4. Focus on what you can control. When facing a business setback, it's important to focus on what you can control, rather than dwelling on factors outside of your control. If market conditions have changed, focus on how you can adapt. If a competitor is outperforming you, focus on how you can differentiate your product or service. By concentrating on the things within your control, you regain a sense of agency and confidence, even in the face of challenges. 5. Celebrate small wins. Recovering from a business setback takes time, and it's important to celebrate the small wins along the way. Whether it's gaining new customers, improving your product, or simply staying resilient in tough times, acknowledging your progress helps you stay motivated. Small victories build momentum and remind you that you're moving forward, even when the road is tough. Page 5. Using failure to refine your business strategy. Failure can be a powerful tool for refining your business strategy. Each setback provides you with valuable insights into what works and what doesn't. Instead of seeing failure as a sign that you should give up, use it as an opportunity to fine-tune your approach and improve your chances of success. 1. Analyze what went wrong. The first step in using failure to refine your strategy is to analyze what went wrong. Did you misjudge the market demand? Was your pricing strategy off? Did you fail to communicate your value proposition effectively? By asking these questions, you can gain a deeper understanding of the root causes of your failure and make informed decisions about how to move forward. 2. Identify what worked. Even in failure, there are often elements of success. Maybe your marketing campaign didn't generate sales, but it did increase brand awareness. Maybe your product launch failed, but your customer service received positive feedback. Identifying what worked allows you to build on those strengths while addressing the weaknesses in your strategy. 3. Adjust and experiment. Once you've analyzed your failure, it's time to adjust your strategy and experiment with new approaches. This might mean tweaking your product, adjusting your pricing, or targeting a different audience. The key is to remain flexible and open to change. Business success often requires multiple iterations, and failure is simply part of the process of finding the right formula. 4. Stay agile in today's fast-paced business environment. Agility is essential. The ability to pivot quickly and adapt to new information is what sets successful entrepreneurs apart. When failure strikes, don't be afraid to make changes and try something new. The more agile you are, the better equipped you'll be to navigate challenges and turn failure into success. 5. Keep learning. Finally, use failure as an opportunity for continuous learning. The best entrepreneurs are lifelong learners who see every setback as a chance to gain new knowledge and improve. Whether it's learning more about your market, refining your leadership skills, or staying up to date with industry trends, commit to ongoing growth and development. The more you learn, the more resilient and adaptable you'll become. Chapter 7. Overcoming academic failure. Page 1. The fear of failing as a student. The pressure to succeed. Academic pressure is something that many students experience, often from a very young age. Whether it's the pressure to get high grades, get into the right school, or achieve top marks on exams, the fear of failure in academics can be overwhelming. This fear can lead to anxiety, stress, and even burnout. But more importantly, it can prevent students from fully engaging with the learning process. Instead of seeing education as an opportunity to grow and develop, students often see it as a high-stakes game where failure is not an option. For many students, the fear of failure comes from external expectations, parents, teachers, or society's pressure to excel. It's easy to internalize these expectations and start to equate academic success with self-worth. A bad grade doesn't just feel like a setback. It feels like a reflection of personal failure. One of the biggest problems with this mindset is that it creates an all-or-nothing approach to learning. Students may become afraid to take risks, ask questions, or try new things for fear of getting something wrong. This stifles creativity and critical thinking, both of which are essential for true academic growth. Moreover, when students inevitably experience failure, whether it's a failed exam, a difficult subject, or a rejected application, it can feel like the end of the road, rather than a bump in the journey. The truth is, failure is an essential part of learning. In fact, many of the world's greatest scholars and thinkers experienced significant academic setbacks. For example, Albert Einstein struggled early in his education, being seen by some teachers as a poor student. He later became one of the most influential scientists in history. What made the difference was not his early failures, but his ability to persist and continue learning despite them. In this chapter, we'll explore how students can shift their perspective on failure, embrace challenges, and use setbacks as opportunities for academic growth. Page 2. How to recover from academic setbacks. Experiencing academic failure can be disheartening, but it doesn't have to define your educational journey. Whether it's failing an important exam, struggling with a particular subject, or falling short of your own expectations, setbacks are a natural part of learning. The key is knowing how to recover from them and use them to fuel your future success. 1. Acknowledge the setback. The first step in overcoming academic failure is acknowledging it. It's important to recognize that failure is a part of the learning process, not a personal shortcoming. When you experience a setback, resist the urge to ignore it or downplay its significance. Instead, take a moment to reflect on what happened and how it made you feel. This acknowledgement helps you process the experience and prepares you for the next step, learning from it. 2. Analyze what went wrong. Once you've acknowledged the setback, it's time to analyze what went wrong. Was the failure due to a lack of preparation? Did you struggle with time management? Was there a misunderstanding of the material? By pinpointing the specific factors that contributed to the failure, you can gain valuable insights into how to improve in the future. For example, if you failed an exam because you didn't fully understand the material, it might be helpful to revisit your study methods. Were you memorizing facts rather than focusing on comprehension? Did you seek help from teachers or tutors when you needed clarification? These questions can help you identify the root causes of your academic setbacks and give you the tools to address them. 3. Develop a plan for improvement. Once you understand the reasons behind your failure, the next step is to create a plan for improvement. This might involve adjusting your study habits, seeking additional support, or setting new goals. For example, if time management was an issue, you could create a study schedule that breaks down your tasks into manageable chunks. If you struggled with understanding the material, consider forming a study group or working with a tutor to deepen your comprehension. The key is to approach the situation with a growth mindset. Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, view it as an opportunity to improve and refine your approach. Every setback is a chance to learn something new and come back stronger. 4. Seek support when needed. Recovering from academic failure is not something you have to do alone. It's important to seek support when needed, whether it's from teachers, academic advisors, family, or peers. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. Many schools offer resources such as tutoring services, counseling, and academic workshops to help students overcome challenges. Take advantage of these resources to get the support you need. Additionally, talking to others about your experiences can provide valuable perspective and encouragement as you work to overcome your setbacks. 5. Focus on progress, not perfection. It's easy to fall into the trap of perfectionism, especially when it comes to academics. But perfectionism often leads to increased stress and a fear of failure. Instead of aiming for perfection, focus on making steady progress. Each step you take toward improvement, no matter how small, is a victory. Celebrate your efforts and recognize that learning is a continuous process. By shifting your focus from achieving flawless results to making consistent progress, you'll reduce the pressure you put on yourself and create a more positive, sustainable approach to your studies. Page 3. Mindful studying. Learning from academic mistakes. One of the most effective ways to recover from academic setbacks and avoid repeating mistakes is by adopting mindful studying practices. Mindfulness involves being fully present and aware of your thoughts, actions, and surroundings without judgment. When applied to studying, mindfulness can help you stay focused, reduce stress, and improve your retention of information. Here's how to practice mindful studying. 1. Set clear intentions before you study. Before you sit down to study, take a moment to set clear intentions. Ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish in this study session? What specific goals do I have for today? By setting clear intentions, you give your study time purpose and direction, making it easier to stay focused and avoid distractions. 2. Stay present during study sessions. Mindful studying is all about staying present in the moment. It's easy for your mind to wander during study sessions, especially when the material feels challenging or overwhelming. When you notice your mind drifting, gently bring your focus back to the task at hand. This might involve taking a few deep breaths to center yourself, or using a timer to break your study time into manageable chunks. 3. Practice self-compassion. When you encounter academic challenges or make mistakes, it's important to practice self-compassion. Instead of criticizing yourself for not understanding something right away or making an error, treat yourself with kindness. Recognize that learning is a process, and mistakes are part of that journey. 4. Reflect on what you've learned at the end of each study session. Take a few minutes to reflect on what you've learned. What new insights did you gain? What challenges did you face? How did you overcome them? Reflecting on your progress helps reinforce the material and gives you a sense of accomplishment, even if you didn't cover everything you had planned. 5. Take breaks and avoid cramming. Mindful studying also involves recognizing when you need a break. Research shows that taking regular breaks during study sessions helps improve focus and retention. Instead of cramming all your studying into one long session, try breaking it up into shorter, focused intervals with rest in between. This gives your brain the time it needs to process the information and helps reduce burnout. By incorporating mindfulness into your study routine, you can improve your ability to focus, reduce stress, and recover more easily from academic setbacks. It's not about studying harder, it's about studying smarter. Page 4. Conversations with students. Changing the narrative around failure. One of the most powerful ways to overcome the fear of academic failure is by changing the narrative around it. Too often, students view failure as something shameful, a sign that they aren't capable or intelligent. But this narrative is both harmful and untrue. In reality, failure is a natural and necessary part of the learning process. Conversations with students who have faced academic setbacks reveal a common theme. Those who succeed after failure are the ones who change the way they think about it. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of their worth, they begin to view it as an opportunity for growth. 1. Failure is feedback, not finality. Many students believe that a failed exam or a bad grade is the final word on their abilities. But failure is not the end. It's feedback. It's a way of telling you what you need to work on, where there's room for improvement, and how you can refine your approach. This mindset shift is crucial for students to embrace challenges rather than fear them. 2. The importance of self-talk. The way students talk to themselves about failure plays a huge role in how they recover from it. Negative self-talk, such as, "I'm not smart enough," or "I'll never get this," only reinforces the fear of failure. But positive self-talk can change the game. Phrases like, "I can learn from this," or "This is just one step in my journey," help students maintain a growth mindset and move forward with resilience. 3. Encouraging open dialogue about failure. Creating a culture where failure is openly discussed and accepted as part of the learning process is essential for changing the narrative around it. In many academic environments, failure is stigmatized, leading students to hide their mistakes or feel embarrassed by them. But when teachers, parents, and peers encourage open conversations about failure, it removes the shame and allows students to see it as a normal part of growth. 4. Sharing stories of resilience. One of the best ways to help students change their perspective on failure is by sharing stories of others who have overcome setbacks. Hearing about how successful individuals bounced back from academic failures can inspire students to see their own challenges in a new light. These stories remind students that failure doesn't define them. It's how they respond to it that matters. Page 5. Turning academic failure into fuel for future success. Failure can either defeat you or motivate you. It's all about how you choose to respond to it. For students, academic setbacks can become the fuel that drives future success, but only if they are willing to learn from their experiences and use them as stepping stones for growth. 1. Set new, realistic goals. After experiencing academic failure, it's important to reassess your goals. Were they too ambitious? Did you need more time or resources to achieve them? By setting new, realistic goals, you give yourself a clear path forward. These goals should be challenging enough to keep you motivated, but achievable enough that you don't feel overwhelmed. 2. Create an action plan. Having a goal is only the first step. To turn academic failure into success, you need a clear action plan. What steps will you take to improve your performance? Will you seek tutoring, change your study habits, or dedicate more time to certain subjects? A well-defined action plan helps you stay focused and gives you the tools to turn your setbacks into future wins. 3. Celebrate your progress. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it's important to celebrate your progress along the way. Whether it's mastering a difficult concept, improving your grades, or simply showing up consistently for study sessions, every small victory counts. By celebrating these wins, You reinforce your commitment to improvement and build the confidence needed to continue pushing forward. 4. Embrace lifelong learning. Academic failure is not a reflection of your intelligence or potential. It's part of the process of learning. By embracing a mindset of lifelong learning, you free yourself from the fear of failure. Instead of viewing setbacks as roadblocks, you see them as opportunities to gain new knowledge and skills. This mindset will serve you well, not just in school, but in every area of your life. 5. Keep moving forward. The most important lesson to take from academic failure is the importance of perseverance. Failure is not the end of the story. It's a chapter in a much larger journey. No matter how many setbacks you face, keep moving forward. Each failure brings you one step closer to success. Chapter 8. Overcoming personal failure. Page 1. The fear of failure in personal life, relationships, self-image, and more. Personal failures, whether in relationships, friendships, or even with ourselves, can often feel more painful and lasting than other types of failure. Unlike academic or business setbacks, personal failures touch the core of who we are, how we see ourselves, and how we connect with others. They can leave deep emotional scars and may make us question our worth, our capabilities, and our ability to be loved or successful in the future. For many people, the fear of failure in personal life stems from past experiences. A failed relationship, for example, can make someone hesitant to open up again, fearing another heartbreak. Similarly, personal goals like fitness, self-care, or even personal growth can feel overwhelming if previous attempts were unsuccessful. This fear can paralyze us, keeping us from taking risks or putting ourselves out there again. However, just like in academics or business, personal failure is not a reflection of who we are. It's a part of life, a necessary part of growth, and an opportunity to learn more about ourselves and our desires. Often, personal failures teach us the most important lessons: how to communicate better, how to set healthy boundaries, and how to prioritize self-compassion. The truth is, everyone experiences personal failures. Whether it's a relationship that didn't work out, a friendship that drifted apart, or a personal goal that wasn't reached, failure is part of the human experience. It's not something to fear, it's something to grow from. In this chapter, we'll explore how to overcome personal failures, heal from past experiences, and use them as stepping stones to a more fulfilled, resilient life. Page 2. Recognizing when personal failure is tied to past trauma. Many personal failures are deeply connected to past traumas. Whether it's a rejection in a relationship, a loss, or a personal disappointment, these experiences can leave emotional wounds that shape how we respond to similar situations in the future. Sometimes, when we experience a failure in our present life, we aren't just reacting to that particular event. We're reacting to all the similar failures we've experienced in the past. This is where trauma comes in. Trauma can be defined as an emotional response to a deeply distressing event, and it often leaves lasting scars. When it comes to personal failures, trauma can make those setbacks feel even more intense and harder to recover from. For example, if someone has experienced rejection in a past relationship, they might internalize that pain and carry it into future relationships, fearing that they will be rejected again. This fear can lead to self-sabotage, avoidance, or shutting down emotionally. It's important to recognize when your fear of failure is being amplified by past trauma. Understanding this connection allows you to begin the process of healing. By acknowledging that your emotional response may be rooted in the past, you can start to detach the past from the present and stop letting old wounds dictate your current actions. Healing from trauma doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that requires patience, self-compassion, and sometimes professional help. But once you begin to heal those wounds, you'll find that personal failures no longer hold as much power over you. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, you'll approach new situations with a sense of hope and possibility. Page 3. The value of self-reflection and accountability. One of the most powerful tools for overcoming personal failure is self-reflection. When we experience setbacks in our personal lives, whether it's a failed relationship, a lost friendship, or unmet personal goals, it's important to take a step back and reflect on what happened, why it happened, and what we can learn from it. This process isn't about assigning blame, but about gaining insight into how we can grow from the experience. Self-reflection allows us to ask important questions. What role did I play in this situation? Were there warning signs I ignored? How could I handle similar situations better in the future? These questions help us take accountability for our actions without falling into self-blame. Accountability is about recognizing our part in the failure while also being kind to ourselves. It's easy to spiral into negative thinking, telling ourselves that we are the problem or that we always fail, but this isn't helpful or true. Everyone makes mistakes, and everyone has room for growth. Through self-reflection, we learn how to take responsibility for our actions in a healthy way. Instead of avoiding our mistakes, we face them, learn from them, and use those lessons to make better choices in the future. This kind of accountability isn't about perfection, it's about progress. By embracing self-reflection, we turn personal failures into opportunities for growth. We become more aware of our patterns, our triggers, and our areas for improvement. And, most importantly, we begin to see failure not as something to be ashamed of, but as a necessary part of personal evolution. Page 4. Realigning personal goals after failure. When we experience personal failure, whether it's the end of a relationship, a missed personal goal, or a disappointment in our own behavior, it's important to take the time to realign our goals. Failure often forces us to reassess what we truly want, what's important to us, and how we can move forward in a way that aligns with our values. Realigning your goals after failure means taking stock of where you are and where you want to go. It's about asking yourself, is this goal still important to me? What can I do differently to achieve it next time? Are there new goals or priorities that have emerged from this experience? For example, if a personal relationship ends, you might realize that your priorities in relationships have changed. Maybe you now value open communication, emotional availability, or shared values more than you did before. Or, if you failed to meet a personal goal, like sticking to a fitness routine, it might be time to reevaluate your approach. Maybe you need a more flexible plan, or maybe the goal itself needs to be adjusted to fit your current lifestyle. Realigning your goals also involves letting go of the past. Just because a goal didn't work out the first time doesn't mean it's out of reach. And just because a relationship or situation didn't turn out the way you hoped doesn't mean you won't find success or happiness in the future. By realigning your goals, you create a new path forward, one that is informed by your experiences but not defined by them. Page 5. Affirmations for healing and moving forward. As we work through personal failures and disappointments, it's essential to adopt a mindset of healing, growth, and forward momentum. Affirmations are a powerful way to shift your internal dialogue, helping you release negative thoughts and replace them with empowering beliefs. Here are some affirmations to help you heal from personal failure and move forward with confidence. I am worthy of love, happiness, and success, regardless of my past. Every setback is an opportunity to grow and learn more about myself. I release the past and embrace the possibilities of the future. I forgive myself for my mistakes and accept that I am constantly evolving. Failure is not a reflection of my worth. It is a stepping stone toward my goals. I trust that everything happens for a reason, and I am exactly where I need to be. I am resilient, and I have the strength to move forward with grace and confidence. I let go of fear and embrace the challenges ahead as opportunities for growth. I am proud of the progress I am making, no matter how small the steps. I choose to focus on the present and move forward with hope and determination. These affirmations can serve as daily reminders that you are not defined by your failures, but by your ability to rise, learn, and grow from them. They help shift your focus from what went wrong to what's possible, giving you the strength and confidence to keep moving forward. Chapter 9. Detaching from the Past, Page 1. Why it's essential to detach from past traumas to move forward. One of the biggest obstacles to personal growth and success is the inability to let go of the past. Whether it's past traumas, failures, or disappointments, we often carry the emotional weight of these experiences into our present lives. This emotional baggage can cloud our judgment, limit our potential, and keep us from fully embracing new opportunities. Learning to detach from the past is essential for personal growth and healing. The problem with holding on to the past is that it shapes how we perceive the future. When we've experienced trauma or failure, it's easy to assume that the same outcome will happen again. This mindset not only creates fear and anxiety, but also prevents us from taking risks or pursuing new goals. For example, someone who has experienced betrayal in a past relationship might struggle to trust future partners, even if there is no reason to doubt them. Detaching from the past doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring what happened. It means accepting the past for what it was and choosing not to let it define your present or future. By letting go of the emotional attachment to past failures or traumas, you free yourself to live fully in the present moment, open to new experiences and opportunities. Detachment is a process, not a one-time decision. It requires self-awareness, reflection, and often forgiveness of yourself and others. But the rewards are immense. When you let go of the past, you create space for new possibilities, new relationships, and new success. You stop living in the shadow of what went wrong and start stepping into the light of what's possible. In this chapter, we'll explore how to detach from past failures and traumas and how to use that freedom to move forward with confidence and clarity. Page 2. Healing from emotional scars. The process of acceptance. Emotional scars from past failures and traumas can linger long after the event itself has passed. These scars are often the result of unresolved emotions, feelings of anger, sadness, guilt, or regret that were never fully processed. Healing from these emotional wounds is a crucial step in detaching from the past and moving forward. The first step in healing is acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean that you're okay with what happened or that it no longer hurts. It simply means that you've acknowledged the reality of the situation and have made peace with the fact that it's part of your life story. Accepting the past allows you to stop fighting it or trying to change it. You can't change what has already happened, but you can change how you respond to it. Acceptance often involves processing the emotions tied to the event. This might mean confronting difficult feelings that you've been avoiding. It could involve talking to a trusted friend or therapist, journaling about your experiences, or practicing mindfulness to become more aware of your emotional state. Whatever method you choose, the goal is to allow yourself to feel and release those emotions, rather than suppressing them. Once you've accepted the past and processed your emotions, the next step is forgiveness, both of yourself and others. Forgiveness is not about condoning what happened, but about freeing yourself from the emotional burden of carrying resentment, anger, or guilt. By forgiving yourself for mistakes or forgiving others for their role in your pain, you reclaim your power and allow yourself to move forward without the weight of the past dragging you down. Healing from emotional scars takes time, and it's important to be patient with yourself during this process. But as you heal, you'll find that the past holds less and less power over you. You'll begin to see your past failures and traumas not as defining moments, but as experiences that shaped you into the resilient, strong person you are today. Page 3. Moving from victimhood to empowerment. One of the most important shifts in detaching from the past is moving from a mindset of victimhood to one of empowerment. When we experience failure or trauma, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeing ourselves as victims, people to whom bad things happen. This mindset can keep us stuck, feeling powerless and unable to change our circumstances. Victimhood focuses on what happened to us, whereas empowerment focuses on how we respond to what happened. It's about reclaiming your personal power and recognizing that, while you may not have control over everything that happens in your life, you do have control over your response. Empowerment is about taking responsibility for your healing and growth, even if you weren't responsible for the hurt that occurred. To move from victimhood to empowerment, start by changing the narrative you tell yourself about your past. Instead of saying, "This happened to me, and it's why I'm stuck," say, "This happened to me, and here's how I'm going to grow from it." This shift in perspective allows you to take ownership of your story and turn it into one of resilience and strength, rather than one of defeat. Another important aspect of empowerment is setting boundaries. This might mean distancing yourself from people or situations that trigger painful memories of the past. It might also involve setting new standards for how you treat yourself and how others treat you. By setting boundaries, you protect your emotional well-being and create a safe space for growth and healing. Empowerment is about reclaiming your voice and your agency. It's about recognizing that you are not defined by what happened to you, but by how you rise from it. When you embrace empowerment, you stop living as a victim of your past and start living as the author of your future. Page 4. The role of therapy and counseling in overcoming past trauma. For many people, past trauma is so deeply rooted that professional help is needed to fully heal and move forward. Therapy and counseling can be incredibly powerful tools for processing trauma, detaching from the past, and developing healthier coping mechanisms for the future. There are several types of therapy that are particularly effective in helping individuals overcome trauma and personal failure. 1. Cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) focuses on identifying and changing negative thought patterns that contribute to feelings of anxiety, depression, and fear. It helps individuals recognize how their thoughts about past failures may be impacting their present behavior. Through CBT, you can learn to reframe negative thoughts, challenge unhelpful beliefs, and develop more positive, constructive ways of thinking. 2. Trauma-focused therapy. For those who have experienced significant trauma, trauma-focused therapy can help address the deep emotional wounds that may be holding them back. This type of therapy is specifically designed to help individuals process and heal from traumatic experiences. Techniques like eye movement desensitization and reprocessing or somatic experiencing focus on helping the body and mind release the trauma stored within them. 3. Talk therapy. Sometimes, simply talking about your experiences with a professional can be healing. Talk therapy provides a safe, non-judgmental space to explore your feelings, process your emotions, and gain insight into your past. A therapist can help you understand how your past is influencing your present and guide you toward healthier ways of thinking and behaving. 4. Group therapy. Group therapy can be incredibly beneficial for individuals dealing with past trauma or failure. Being part of a group of people who have experienced similar challenges can reduce feelings of isolation and provide a sense of community. In group therapy, you can share your experiences, hear others' stories, and learn from the collective wisdom of the group. Seeking therapy is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It's a way of taking control of your healing process and actively working toward a healthier, more empowered version of yourself. By engaging in therapy or counseling, you give yourself the support you need to fully detach from the past and embrace the future. Page 5. New beginnings. Seeing failure as a fresh start. One of the most liberating aspects of detaching from the past is the realization that failure can be a fresh start. Instead of seeing failure as the end of the road, we can choose to view it as the beginning of something new, an opportunity to rebuild, reimagine, and reinvent ourselves. Every failure, no matter how painful, carries with it the seeds of a new beginning. When one door closes, another opens. But it's up to us to see the possibilities that lie ahead. By letting go of past failures, you create space for new opportunities to enter your life. Opportunities that you might not have noticed if you were still holding on to the past. Here are some affirmations to help you embrace the idea of new beginnings. I release the past and welcome new opportunities with an open heart. Every ending is the start of a new and exciting chapter in my life. I am not defined by my past failures. I am defined by my strength to move forward. I trust that the universe has new and better plans for me. I choose to see failure as a fresh start, not as a dead end. I am resilient, and every new beginning brings me closer to my goals. I have the power to create a future that aligns with my true desires. I am grateful for the lessons of the past, but I am no longer bound by them. Each day is an opportunity to begin again, and I embrace the possibilities ahead. I trust myself to navigate new beginnings with courage, grace, and hope. New beginnings don't erase the past, but they do offer a chance to create something new from the lessons learned. By embracing failure as a fresh start, you take control of your narrative and begin writing the next chapter of your life with confidence, hope, and a sense of purpose. Chapter 10. The Role of Mindfulness in Future Success. Page 1. Developing a mindful mindset toward failure. Failure, as we've explored throughout this book, is an inevitable part of life. However, how we respond to failure determines whether it holds us back or propels us forward. One of the most powerful tools for navigating failure and life's challenges in general is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of staying present, being fully aware of your thoughts and emotions, and observing them without judgment. A mindful mindset helps us view failure through a lens of curiosity and growth, rather than fear and self-doubt. When we fail, it's easy to let negative thoughts spiral out of control. I'm not good enough. This always happens to me. Or, I'll never succeed. But with mindfulness, we can catch these thoughts before they take over, observe them without getting swept away, and replace them with more constructive beliefs. Developing a mindful approach to failure begins with awareness. When you experience a setback, take a moment to pause and acknowledge your emotions without reacting to them. Are you feeling frustration, disappointment, shame? Instead of suppressing these feelings or letting them overwhelm you, simply notice them. By staying present and aware, you prevent these emotions from taking control. The next step is to reframe your thinking. Instead of seeing failure as an insurmountable obstacle, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I grow from it? This shift in perspective allows you to see failure not as a reflection of your worth, but as a necessary part of the learning process. Mindfulness teaches us that failure is not the enemy, it's a teacher. It helps us stay grounded in the present moment, preventing us from becoming consumed by regret about the past or anxiety about the future. By cultivating a mindful mindset toward failure, you free yourself from fear and create space for growth, resilience, and future success. Page 2. How mindfulness helps in decision-making. In our fast-paced world, decision-making can be stressful, especially when the stakes are high. Whether you're deciding on a career change, a new business venture, or a personal goal, the fear of making the wrong choice can lead to analysis paralysis, where you become so overwhelmed by options that you end up making no decision at all. Mindfulness can significantly enhance your decision-making process by helping you stay calm, clear-headed, and focused on what truly matters. When you practice mindfulness, you learn to quiet the mental chatter that often accompanies important decisions. You become more attuned to your inner wisdom, allowing you to make choices based on clarity and intention, rather than fear or impulse. Here's how mindfulness can help you make better decisions. 1. Quieting the noise. When faced with a big decision, your mind is often flooded with what-if scenarios and conflicting thoughts. What if I fail? What if this isn't the right path? What if I regret this choice? Mindfulness teaches you to quiet this mental noise by bringing your attention back to the present moment. When you focus on the here and now, you can sift through your thoughts more effectively, distinguishing between fear-based thinking and rational, grounded decision-making. 2. Connecting with your values. Mindfulness helps you connect with your core values, which are the principles that guide your life and define what matters most to you. By practicing mindfulness, you create the space to reflect on your values and ensure that your decisions align with them. This clarity helps you make decisions that are not just practical, but meaningful. 3. Reducing stress and anxiety. Stress and anxiety often cloud our judgment, leading to rash or fear-based decisions. Mindfulness helps reduce these negative emotions by encouraging relaxation and calm. By practicing mindful breathing or meditation before making a decision, you lower your stress levels and approach the situation with a clearer, more focused mind. 4. Encouraging patience. Mindfulness teaches the importance of patience. Not every decision needs to be made in a rush, and not every problem has an immediate solution. By embracing patience, you give yourself the time to consider all options and reflect on what is truly best for you, rather than making impulsive choices based on fear or pressure. Ultimately, mindfulness helps you make decisions with clarity, intention, and confidence. It allows you to approach life's choices with a calm, open mind, free from the distractions of fear, stress, and doubt. Page 3. Practicing gratitude. Even in failure, gratitude is a practice that can transform how we experience both success and failure. When things are going well, it's easy to feel grateful. But when we experience failure, disappointment, or setbacks, gratitude might be the last thing on our minds. However, practicing gratitude in the face of failure is one of the most powerful ways to shift your perspective and create a more resilient mindset. Here's why gratitude is important in moments of failure. 1. Reframing failure as opportunity. When we practice gratitude, we shift our focus from what went wrong to what we can learn. Failure, after all, is not the end of the story. It's an opportunity for growth. Instead of dwelling on the negative aspects of failure, practicing gratitude encourages you to look for the silver linings. What lessons can you take away from this experience? What new opportunities might emerge as a result of this setback? Gratitude opens your mind to possibilities, even in the face of difficulty. 2. Building emotional resilience. Gratitude strengthens your emotional resilience by helping you focus on the positive aspects of your life, even when things aren't going as planned. When you cultivate a mindset of gratitude, you're less likely to feel defeated by failure. Instead, you'll see it as one part of a bigger picture. Gratitude helps you maintain perspective, reminding you that while failure is a temporary setback, there are still many things in your life to be thankful for. 3. Enhancing personal growth. Gratitude helps you recognize that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but a natural part of the growth process. By practicing gratitude for the challenges you face, you embrace the idea that failure is a stepping stone toward success. This mindset allows you to approach future challenges with greater confidence and less fear. Here are a few ways to practice gratitude in the face of failure. Keep a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for, including the lessons you've learned from your failures. Shift your perspective. When faced with a setback, ask yourself, what can I be grateful for in this situation? Look for the positive aspects, even if they seem small. Express appreciation. Show gratitude for the people who support you, especially during difficult times. Acknowledging the help and kindness of others can provide comfort and perspective. By practicing gratitude, you cultivate a mindset that embraces failure as an opportunity for learning, growth, and future success. Page 4. How to silence the inner critic through mindful awareness. We all have an inner critic, that negative voice inside our heads that tells us we aren't good enough, that we're bound to fail, or that we don't deserve success. This inner critic often becomes loudest when we face challenges or experience failure. It's the voice that says, "I told you so," or "You'll never succeed." But mindfulness offers a powerful way to quiet the inner critic and replace self-criticism with self-compassion. 1. Recognizing the voice of the inner critic. The first step in silencing the inner critic is becoming aware of it. Mindfulness helps you tune into your thoughts and notice when negative self-talk begins. Are you telling yourself that you're not smart enough, talented enough, or worthy of success? By observing these thoughts without judgment, you create the space to challenge them. 2. Separating yourself from negative thoughts. Mindfulness teaches you that you are not your thoughts. Just because your inner critic says something doesn't make it true. Through mindful awareness, you learn to see negative thoughts for what they are, temporary and often irrational. Instead of letting your inner critic dictate your actions, you can observe these thoughts and choose not to engage with them. 3. Replacing self-criticism with self-compassion. Once you've recognized your inner critic, it's time to replace those negative thoughts with more compassionate ones. Mindfulness encourages self-compassion, which means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. When your inner critic starts to berate you, respond with self-compassion. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes, and failure is a normal part of the learning process. Here are a few affirmations to help silence your inner critic. I am doing my best, and that is enough. I choose to speak to myself with kindness and understanding. I am worthy of success, even when I fail. Mistakes are part of my growth, not a reflection of my worth. I deserve to treat myself with the same love and care that I offer others. By practicing mindfulness, you gain the ability to quiet the inner critic, offering yourself compassion and grace instead of criticism and doubt. Page 5. Staying present in the process, enjoying the journey, not just the outcome. One of the most important lessons that mindfulness teaches us is the value of staying present in the process. Too often, we become fixated on the outcome, whether it's achieving a goal, reaching a milestone, or avoiding failure. While it's natural to focus on results, this fixation can cause us to miss the richness of the journey itself. Mindfulness encourages us to shift our focus from the destination to the present moment. When you're fully present, you can appreciate each step of the process, whether it's working on a project, developing a new skill, or facing a challenge. This mindset not only reduces the pressure to succeed, but also allows you to find joy and fulfillment in the process, regardless of the outcome. 1. Embracing the process. Mindfulness teaches you to embrace the process rather than rushing toward the end goal. Every experience, whether it's a success or a setback, is part of your journey. By staying present, you allow yourself to learn and grow from each moment, appreciating the lessons that come along the way. 2. Letting go of the need for perfection. When you focus solely on the outcome, you often set yourself up for disappointment. If things don't go as planned, it can feel like a failure. But mindfulness helps you let go of the need for perfection. Instead of aiming for flawless results, focus on doing your best and staying engaged in the process. This mindset reduces anxiety and frees you to enjoy each step of the journey. 3. Finding joy in the small wins. Mindfulness encourages you to celebrate the small wins along the way. These small victories, whether it's learning something new, making progress on a goal, or simply showing up consistently, are worth celebrating. By focusing on these moments, you cultivate a sense of fulfillment and gratitude, regardless of the ultimate outcome. Here are a few affirmations to help you stay present and enjoy the journey. I find joy in the process, not just the result. I am fully present in each moment, appreciating the lessons along the way. I release the need for perfection and focus on progress. Every small step is a victory, and I celebrate my efforts. I trust that the journey is just as valuable as the destination. By staying present and embracing the journey, you create a more meaningful and fulfilling path to success. Mindfulness helps you release the pressure of outcomes and enjoy each moment for what it is, a step forward in your personal growth. Chapter 11. Integrating Mindfulness and Resilience into Daily Life. Page 1. Building a routine that supports growth and resilience. One of the key elements of achieving long-term success is building a daily routine that supports your personal growth and emotional resilience. While many people think success is the result of major life changes or big achievements, the reality is that it's often the small, consistent habits we develop that lead to sustained progress over time. Incorporating mindfulness and resilience-building practices into your daily routine doesn't have to be time-consuming or complicated. The goal is to create a foundation that nurtures both your mental and emotional well-being, helping you stay focused, balanced, and prepared to handle life's challenges. Here are a few ways to build a routine that supports growth and resilience. 1. Morning mindfulness practice. Start your day with mindfulness to set a positive tone. Whether it's through meditation, deep breathing, or simply taking a few moments of quiet reflection, a morning mindfulness practice can help center your thoughts and prepare you for the day ahead. By grounding yourself in the present moment, you create a sense of calm and clarity that carries through the rest of the day. 2. Set intentional goals each day. Set a few small, intentional goals for yourself. These goals should be specific, manageable, and aligned with your long-term aspirations. By focusing on small, daily achievements, you build momentum and confidence, which leads to larger successes over time. These goals can be as simple as completing a task, making time for self-care, or learning something new. 3. Prioritize breaks and rest. Incorporating regular breaks and rest periods into your routine is essential for maintaining resilience. Overworking yourself leads to burnout, and it's important to recognize when you need to step back and recharge. Mindful breaks throughout the day, such as a short walk, deep breathing exercises, or even a few minutes of stretching, can help refresh your mind and body, allowing you to return to your tasks with renewed energy. 4. Evening reflection and gratitude. Before going to bed, take a few moments to reflect on your day. What went well? What challenges did you face, and how did you handle them? Practicing gratitude at the end of the day helps shift your focus away from stress and toward the positive aspects of your life. This reflection helps you process your emotions and gives you a sense of closure, allowing you to rest peacefully. By incorporating mindfulness, goal setting, rest, and reflection into your daily routine, you build a lifestyle that promotes growth and emotional resilience. Over time, these small habits add up, creating a foundation for sustained success. Page 2. Mindful responses to life stressors. Life is full of stressors, both big and small. Whether it's work deadlines, personal challenges, or unexpected events, stress is a natural part of life. However, it's not the stress itself that determines our well-being, it's how we respond to it. Mindfulness provides a powerful tool for managing stress, helping us stay calm and centered even when things get difficult. Here are a few ways to respond mindfully to life stressors. 1. Pause before reacting. When faced with a stressful situation, the natural instinct is to react immediately. However, this often leads to impulsive decisions or emotional outbursts. Mindfulness encourages you to pause before reacting. Take a few deep breaths, ground yourself in the present moment, and give yourself time to process the situation before responding. This brief pause allows you to approach the situation with clarity and intention, rather than reacting out of fear or frustration. 2. Observe your emotions. When stress arises, it's important to observe your emotions without getting swept away by them. Mindfulness teaches you to acknowledge your feelings, whether it's anger, anxiety, or sadness, without judgment. By simply noticing these emotions, you create space between yourself and the stressor, allowing you to choose how to respond rather than being controlled by your emotions. 3. Focus on what you can control. Mindfulness helps you differentiate between what is within your control and what isn't. In stressful situations, it's easy to become overwhelmed by factors outside of your influence. However, by focusing on what you can control, your actions, your thoughts, and your responses, you regain a sense of empowerment. Letting go of what you can't control reduces anxiety and helps you focus on productive solutions. 4. Practice self-compassion in moments of stress. It's important to be kind to yourself. Self-compassion involves recognizing that it's okay to feel overwhelmed or upset. It's part of the human experience. Instead of being hard on yourself for feeling stressed, offer yourself the same understanding and support you would offer a friend in a similar situation. Self-compassion helps you approach stress with a mindset of care and patience rather than self-criticism. Mindful responses to stress help you navigate life's challenges with greater ease and resilience. By practicing mindfulness in moments of difficulty, you create a buffer between yourself and the stressor, allowing you to respond thoughtfully and with purpose. Page 3. Cultivating emotional balance through daily mindfulness. Emotional balance is the ability to remain steady and grounded, even when life throws you off course. It doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or avoiding difficult feelings, but rather managing them in a way that allows you to maintain a sense of calm and composure. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for cultivating emotional balance because it encourages you to be present with your emotions without letting them control you. Here's how to integrate mindfulness into your daily routine to maintain emotional balance. 1. Start with emotional check-ins throughout the day. Take a few moments to check in with yourself emotionally. Ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? This simple question helps you become more aware of your emotional state, allowing you to address any feelings of stress, frustration, or anxiety before they build up. By regularly checking in with yourself, you can prevent emotional overwhelm and maintain a sense of balance. 2. Practice mindful breathing when emotions run high. Mindful breathing is one of the quickest ways to regain balance. Deep, intentional breathing activates your body's relaxation response, calming your nervous system and helping you process your emotions more effectively. Whenever you feel emotionally off balance, take a few slow, deep breaths to center yourself. 3. Accept your emotions without judgment. Mindfulness encourages you to accept your emotions as they are, without labeling them as good or bad. It's natural to experience a wide range of emotions, and there's no need to criticize yourself for feeling a certain way. By accepting your emotions without judgment, you allow them to flow through you rather than resisting or suppressing them. This acceptance is key to maintaining emotional balance, even in challenging situations. 4. Ground yourself in the present moment when emotions like anxiety or frustration take over. It's often because your mind is focused on the past or the future, either dwelling on something that went wrong or worrying about what might happen next. Grounding yourself in the present moment helps bring your focus back to what's happening right now, reducing emotional turbulence and helping you regain control of your thoughts. 5. Use positive affirmations for emotional stability. Affirmations are a powerful way to reinforce emotional balance. By repeating positive affirmations, you create a mental environment that supports emotional resilience and stability. Here are a few affirmations to help cultivate emotional balance. I am grounded, calm, and in control of my emotions. I allow my emotions to flow without judgment or resistance. I trust myself to handle any emotions that arise with grace and patience. I am resilient, and I maintain my inner peace even in challenging moments. I am worthy of love, happiness, and emotional well-being. By incorporating mindful practices into your daily routine, you create a foundation of emotional balance that helps you navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease. Page 4. How to use mindfulness to strengthen relationships. Mindfulness doesn't just benefit your inner world. It also enhances your relationships with others. Whether it's with family, friends, or romantic partners, practicing mindfulness helps you become more present, empathetic, and connected in your interactions. By being fully engaged in your relationships, you can improve communication, deepen emotional bonds, and foster greater understanding. Here's how mindfulness can strengthen your relationships. 1. Active listening mindfulness teaches you to listen without distraction. In relationships, this means giving the other person your full attention without thinking about how you'll respond or letting your mind wander. Active listening helps you truly understand the other person's perspective and shows that you value what they have to say. This deepens trust and creates a stronger emotional connection. 2. Managing emotional reactions in any relationship, conflicts and disagreements are bound to happen. However, mindfulness helps you manage your emotional reactions during these moments. Instead of reacting impulsively, whether it's through anger, defensiveness, or withdrawal, mindfulness encourages you to pause, reflect, and respond with calm and clarity. This reduces the likelihood of escalating conflicts and allows for more productive, compassionate communication. 3. Practicing empathy mindfulness fosters empathy by helping you become more aware of the other person's emotions and needs. By being fully present in your interactions, you can pick up on subtle emotional cues and respond with kindness and understanding. Empathy strengthens relationships by creating a deeper emotional connection and fostering mutual respect. 4. Letting go of judgments. It's easy to fall into the habit of judging others, especially in relationships where we have certain expectations. Mindfulness encourages you to let go of judgments and accept the other person as they are. This acceptance creates a more open, supportive environment where both people feel valued and understood. 5. Cultivating gratitude for your relationships. Gratitude is an essential component of mindfulness, and it can greatly enhance your relationships. By regularly expressing gratitude for the people in your life, whether it's through words, actions, or simple gestures, you reinforce the bond you share. Gratitude helps you focus on the positive aspects of your relationships, strengthening the connection between you and those you care about. Mindfulness in relationships encourages open communication, empathy, and emotional balance, allowing you to build deeper, more meaningful connections. Page 5. Long-term benefits of a mindful, resilient lifestyle. A mindful, resilient lifestyle offers numerous long-term benefits that go beyond success in the traditional sense. It creates a deep sense of well-being, fulfillment, and emotional stability, all of which contribute to a more meaningful and balanced life. By integrating mindfulness and resilience into your daily habits, you cultivate a lifestyle that supports not only your personal goals, but also your overall happiness and satisfaction. Here are some of the long-term benefits of living mindfully and resiliently. 1. Greater emotional stability. Mindfulness helps you maintain emotional stability, even in the face of life's challenges. By practicing mindfulness regularly, you become better equipped to handle difficult emotions, manage stress, and bounce back from setbacks. This emotional resilience creates a sense of inner peace and stability that carries you through both good times and bad. 2. Improved mental clarity. A mindful lifestyle enhances mental clarity by reducing mental clutter and distraction. When you practice mindfulness, you sharpen your focus and become more present in your daily activities. This increased mental clarity allows you to make better decisions, solve problems more effectively, and stay focused on your goals. 3. Deeper connections. Mindfulness enhances your relationships by helping you become more present, empathetic, and connected with others. Whether it's with family, friends, or colleagues, a mindful approach to relationships fosters deeper, more meaningful connections, leading to a greater sense of fulfillment and support in your personal and professional life. 4. Enhanced self-awareness. Living mindfully increases your self-awareness, helping you better understand your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This awareness allows you to make conscious choices about how you live your life, rather than being driven by unconscious habits or reactive patterns. Greater self-awareness leads to personal growth, improved relationships, and a deeper sense of purpose. 5. Increased joy and gratitude. A mindful lifestyle encourages you to appreciate the present moment and find joy in the simple things. By practicing gratitude and being fully present in your daily experiences, you cultivate a sense of contentment and joy that isn't dependent on external circumstances. This inner joy creates a lasting sense of well-being and fulfillment. As you continue to integrate mindfulness and resilience into your daily life, you'll experience these long-term benefits, creating a foundation for lasting success, happiness, and personal growth. Chapter 12. Setting New Goals and Creating a Vision for the Future. Page 1. The importance of setting intentional goals. Setting goals is an essential part of achieving success, but not all goals are created equal. It's not enough to simply have vague aspirations or wish for success. You need to set intentional goals that are aligned with your values, vision, and personal growth. Intentional goals are those that have a clear purpose behind them and are grounded in what truly matters to you. Many people set goals based on external expectations, what society, family, or peers expect of them, rather than what they genuinely desire. But intentional goal setting begins with self-reflection. It requires you to ask yourself, what do I truly want? What kind of life do I want to create for myself? These questions help you align your goals with your deeper sense of purpose, making them more meaningful and motivating. Here are a few steps to help you set intentional goals. 1. Reflect on your core values before setting goals. It's important to reflect on your core values, the principles that guide your life and define what's most important to you. Are you driven by creativity, connection, adventure, or personal growth? Understanding your values helps you set goals that are in alignment with what truly matters to you. When your goals are connected to your values, you're more likely to stay committed to them, even when challenges arise. 2. Set SMART goals. Once you've reflected on your values, it's time to set SMART goals, goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. SMART goals give you a clear roadmap to follow, making it easier to track your progress and stay motivated. For example, instead of setting a vague goal like, I want to be healthier, a SMART goal would be, I will exercise for 30 minutes, 5 times a week for the next 3 months. 3. Break down big goals into smaller steps. Big goals can often feel overwhelming, especially if they require a significant amount of time or effort to achieve. To make your goals more manageable, break them down into smaller, actionable steps. Each small step brings you closer to your overall goal, and the sense of accomplishment you gain from completing these smaller tasks keeps you motivated. 4. Stay flexible. While it's important to have a clear vision and set specific goals, it's equally important to stay flexible. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes goals need to be adjusted based on new circumstances or insights. Flexibility allows you to adapt without feeling discouraged, knowing that progress isn't always linear. By setting intentional goals that align with your values and breaking them down into actionable steps, you create a clear path toward the future you envision. Page 2. Visualizing success. Creating a mental roadmap. Visualization is a powerful tool for achieving your goals and creating a clear vision for your future. When you visualize your success, you mentally rehearse what it looks and feels like to achieve your goals, which helps you stay focused and motivated. Successful athletes, performers, and entrepreneurs often use visualization to prepare for their achievements, and you can do the same in your own life. Here's how to practice visualization to help create your mental roadmap to success. 1. Create a clear picture of your future. Start by creating a vivid mental picture of your future success. What does it look like? How do you feel? What are you doing? The more detailed your visualization, the more powerful it becomes. Picture yourself achieving your goals, overcoming obstacles, and enjoying the rewards of your hard work. Engage all of your senses. Imagine the sights, sounds, and emotions that accompany your success. 2. Focus on the process, not just the outcome. While it's important to visualize the end result, it's equally important to focus on the process that will get you there. Visualize yourself taking the necessary steps to reach your goals. See yourself working through challenges, staying resilient, and maintaining a positive mindset. This process-oriented visualization helps you stay grounded in the present and reminds you that success is achieved one step at a time. 3. Use visualization to overcome fear and doubt. Visualization can also help you overcome fear and self-doubt. When you imagine yourself succeeding, you build confidence in your ability to achieve your goals. You also train your brain to expect success, which reduces the fear of failure. By regularly visualizing yourself as capable and resilient, you quiet the doubts that might otherwise hold you back. 4. Practice daily to make visualization effective. Practice it regularly, ideally every day. Set aside a few minutes each morning or evening to close your eyes and visualize your success. The more consistently you practice, the more ingrained these positive images will become in your mind. Over time, visualization helps you stay focused, motivated, and resilient in the pursuit of your goals. Visualization not only motivates you, but also provides a mental roadmap for achieving success. It helps you stay connected to your goals, builds your confidence, and prepares you for the challenges ahead. Page 3. Aligning your goals with your purpose. Purpose is what gives your life meaning. When your goals are aligned with your purpose, they become more than just tasks to complete. They become stepping stones toward the life you truly want to create. Aligning your goals with your purpose ensures that your actions are meaningful and that you're working towards something that fulfills you on a deeper level. Here's how to align your goals with your purpose. 1. Identify your purpose. Your purpose is the reason behind your actions, the deeper motivation that drives you. It's the answer to the question, why do I want to achieve this goal? For some, their purpose might be related to personal growth. For others, it might be about helping others or making a positive impact in the world. Identifying your purpose helps you ensure that your goals are connected to something meaningful, which increases your commitment and drive. 2. Reevaluate goals that don't align. Not all goals serve your purpose. Sometimes we set goals that are based on external pressures or expectations rather than what truly resonates with us. Take the time to reevaluate any goals that don't feel aligned with your purpose. If a goal feels forced or uninspiring, ask yourself why you set it in the first place. It may be time to let go of certain goals and replace them with ones that are more meaningful to you. 3. Set purpose-driven goals. Once you've identified your purpose, set goals that reflect that purpose. Purpose-driven goals are those that align with your values, passions, and vision for the future. These goals give you a sense of direction and clarity, and they inspire you to keep going even when challenges arise. For example, if your purpose is to make a positive impact on others, your goals might include starting a community project or pursuing a career in service-oriented fields. 4. Stay true to your purpose in the face of obstacles. When you encounter obstacles, it's easy to lose sight of your purpose. But staying true to your purpose gives you the resilience to push through setbacks. Remind yourself of why you're pursuing these goals and how they connect to your larger vision for your life. This sense of purpose helps you stay focused and motivated, even when the path becomes difficult. Aligning your goals with your purpose brings meaning to your actions and ensures that you're working toward a life that feels fulfilling and authentic. Page 4. Building resilience through goal setting. Setting goals isn't just about achieving success, it's also about building resilience. The process of working toward your goals, facing challenges, and learning from setbacks helps you develop the mental and emotional strength needed to overcome obstacles. Resilience is what allows you to stay committed to your goals, even when things don't go as planned. Here's how setting and pursuing goals builds resilience. 1. Embracing challenges. Setting goals often means stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing challenges. These challenges provide opportunities to grow, learn, and become more resilient. Each time you face a challenge and push through it, you build your capacity to handle future difficulties. Instead of avoiding challenges, view them as valuable experiences that make you stronger. 2. Learning from setbacks, no goal is achieved without setbacks along the way. However, setbacks don't have to derail your progress. By viewing setbacks as opportunities for growth, you build resilience. Each setback teaches you something new, whether it's how to adjust your strategy, manage your time better, or approach a problem from a different angle. The ability to learn from setbacks and keep moving forward is a key aspect of resilience. 3. Celebrating progress. Resilience isn't just about overcoming difficulties, it's also about celebrating your successes along the way. Acknowledging your progress, no matter how small, reinforces your belief in your ability to succeed. Celebrating your wins, both big and small, helps you stay motivated and reminds you that you're moving in the right direction. 4. Staying committed to long-term goals. Resilience is built through long-term commitment. When you set goals that are aligned with your purpose, you're more likely to stay committed to them, even when the journey gets tough. By focusing on the long-term vision and staying patient through setbacks, you develop the resilience needed to achieve your goals. Setting goals is not just about reaching the destination, it's about developing the resilience to continue the journey, no matter what obstacles arise. Each step you take builds your inner strength and prepares you for future challenges. Page 5. Affirmations for achieving goals and creating a vision. As you set new goals and create a vision for the future, positive affirmations can help reinforce your commitment and keep you focused. Affirmations are powerful statements that align your thoughts with your goals, helping you stay motivated and confident as you work toward success. Here are some affirmations to support you in achieving your goals and creating the future you envision. I am fully capable of achieving my goals and creating the life I desire. Each step I take brings me closer to my dreams. I trust the process and remain patient as I work toward my goals. Challenges are opportunities for growth, and I welcome them with resilience. I am aligned with my purpose, and my actions reflect my deepest values. I visualize my success and trust that I have everything I need to achieve it. I release the fear of failure and embrace the possibilities of the future. I stay focused, motivated, and resilient, no matter what challenges arise. My goals are meaningful, and I am committed to making them a reality. I am creating the future I envision, one step at a time. By repeating these affirmations regularly, you reinforce your belief in your ability to succeed and stay aligned with your vision for the future. They serve as powerful reminders that you are capable, resilient, and fully equipped to achieve your goals. Chapter 13. Final Reflections on Failure, Success, and Personal Growth. Page 1. Embracing failure as part of the journey. Throughout this book, we've explored the many ways that failure, rather than being something to fear, is an integral part of the journey toward success. Whether in business, academics, personal life, or relationships, failure is often the precursor to growth and learning. It shapes us, tests our resilience, and ultimately prepares us for greater achievements. The first key lesson to take away is that failure is not final. It's a temporary state, a feedback loop that teaches us what doesn't work so that we can adjust, improve, and try again. The people who succeed in life are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who embrace failure as an opportunity to grow. They are the individuals who face setbacks and use them as stepping stones to move forward with greater wisdom and strength. By embracing failure as part of the process, we free ourselves from the fear that holds us back. We stop seeing failure as a reflection of our worth and start seeing it for what it truly is, a teacher. In doing so, we become more resilient, more open to taking risks, and more willing to push ourselves beyond our comfort zones. The question is no longer, how can I avoid failure? But rather, how can I learn from failure and use it to grow? Page 2. Redefining success on your own terms. Success means different things to different people. For some, success might be measured by professional achievements, financial gain, or academic accolades. For others, it might be about personal fulfillment, happiness, and the strength of their relationships. The key to finding true success is to define it on your own terms. One of the biggest mistakes people make is chasing success based on society's definitions without considering what truly matters to them. This leads to a sense of dissatisfaction, even when external markers of success are achieved. To create a life that feels truly successful, it's essential to ask yourself, what does success mean to me? What makes me feel fulfilled, happy, and at peace with myself? Success, at its core, is about living in alignment with your values and purpose. It's about creating a life that reflects what you truly care about, rather than what others expect from you. Whether your goals are personal, professional, or spiritual, success should feel authentic to who you are and where you want to go. By redefining success on your own terms, you create a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. You stop measuring your worth by external standards and start focusing on what brings you joy, purpose, and satisfaction. Page 3. Personal growth is a lifelong process. One of the most important realizations on the path to success is that personal growth is a lifelong process. There is no finish line when it comes to growth, and that's a good thing. The process of learning, evolving, and becoming more in tune with ourselves is ongoing and ever-changing. Each experience, whether positive or negative, adds to our understanding of who we are and what we're capable of. Throughout this journey, there will be moments of triumph and moments of struggle. There will be times when you feel like you've taken 2 steps forward and 1 step back. This is all part of the process. What's important is to stay committed to your growth, even when the road gets tough. Personal growth requires self-awareness, patience, and resilience. It means being willing to look at yourself honestly, recognize areas for improvement, and take action to become the best version of yourself. It also means forgiving yourself when you fall short and celebrating your progress along the way. As you continue to grow, remember that setbacks are not failures. They are opportunities to learn more about yourself, refine your approach, and keep moving forward. By embracing the idea that growth is a lifelong process, you release the pressure to be perfect and allow yourself to evolve naturally at your own pace. Page 4. The power of resilience in achieving long-term success. Resilience has been a recurring theme throughout this book, and for good reason. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to change, and keep moving forward despite challenges. It's one of the most important qualities you can develop if you want to achieve long-term success. What sets resilient people apart is their mindset. They don't see failure as the end of the road. They see it as a detour. They view challenges as opportunities for growth and are willing to put in the effort to overcome obstacles. Resilient people understand that success is not a straight line. It's a winding path with many twists and turns. The good news is that resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you can cultivate. Each time you face a challenge, you have the opportunity to strengthen your resilience by learning from the experience and continuing to move forward. The more you practice resilience, the more confident you become in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. Long-term success is not about never failing. It's about getting back up each time you do. Resilience is the foundation that allows you to keep striving toward your goals, even when things don't go as planned. Page 5. Looking forward, creating a future of possibility. As we conclude this journey, it's time to turn your attention to the future. What does your future look like? How do you want to shape it? With the tools, strategies, and insights you've gained, you have the power to create a future filled with possibility, growth, and success. Here are a few final affirmations to carry with you as you move forward. I am open to new opportunities and trust that each step brings me closer to my goals. I embrace failure as part of the journey and use it to grow stronger and wiser. I am resilient, capable, and confident in my ability to overcome challenges. Success is defined on my own terms, and I create a life that aligns with my values. I trust the process of growth, knowing that each experience contributes to my personal evolution. I am committed to my vision for the future and take action every day to bring it to life. The future is not something that happens to you. It's something you create. With mindfulness, resilience, and a clear vision, you can shape your future in a way that reflects your deepest desires and aspirations. As you move forward, remember that the journey will not always be smooth, but it will always be meaningful. Each step, whether it's a success or a failure, brings you closer to becoming the person you are meant to be. Embrace the process, trust yourself, and keep moving forward with confidence. Your future is bright, and it's filled with endless possibilities. Now is the time to take everything you've learned and create the life you truly want.